Professional poker players specialize in head games. For example, a skilled bluff or lie is the bread and butter of every poker player. Seems like the only way to detect if a world-class poker player is lying is to use a lie detector.
So we wondered, could one of the planet's best poker players actually beat a polygraph? To find out, we dealt in one of the premier poker players on the planet. Kid Poker, Daniel Negreanu. Daniel's dominance has won him 4 World Series of Poker bracelets and over $10 million in winnings. And he's earned most of that money by bluffing some of the world's best poker players.
Poker is just like a lot of sports. It's not so much about playing the game as much as it is about playing the man.
Oh no, it's all about playing the man. Your cards are irrelevant. When a guy likes his hand, the first thing that he does is it's subconscious. His eyes will look directly at the chips. So, you know, he sees the flop come out and he does one of these. And he doesn't even realize he does it. When you see that, beware, because he likes something about what he saw.
If you were to walk in to just a neighborhood poker game, could you never look at your cards and whoop everybody?
I could sit in your neighborhood home game, pretend that I'm looking at my cards, never look once, and absolutely almost guarantee victory every single time.
Poker players are always looking for tells, or subtle signals that give away everything about a player's hand. That's why pros must be great at bluffing.
I call.
So you must be an expert liar.
That sounds like a bad thing to admit to, but I would say that if I was lying, it would probably be difficult for you to detect.
Today, Daniel better be an expert liar, because we've brought in someone who's skilled at uncovering deception. Former Secret Service agent turned polygraph examiner, Joe Paolella.
The polygraph measures parts of our body that we have no conscious control of. And all of these changes are conducive to a person who's lying.
To make sure our polygraph examiner is honed in, we're going to start by giving Daniel an outrageous lie detector test.
Daniel, you're gonna stare straight forward.
Okay.
I'm gonna blindfold you. We're gonna put objects in front of you. When I take the blindfold off, you're gonna have 30 seconds to look at it, absorb it, and I'm gonna ask you a question. Joe, you're gonna tell us whether or not he's lying.
Okay.
Okay.
To make this test as challenging as possible, we brought in someone guaranteed to get a rise out of Daniel.
Just to stare straight forward. And I'm gonna ask you one simple question. Is there a dog in a tutu in front of you?
Yes.
Was Daniel able to throw off the machine? Or did the polygraph catch his lie?
Is there a dog in a tutu standing in front of you? You think?
Who's lying on that one?
That's a tough machine. That's a tough
good.
machine to beat.
Our polygraph had no trouble detecting this lie, but Daniel was out of his element. So it's time to up the ante and see if he can beat the machine where it matters most, at the poker table. And to really ratchet up the pressure, we brought in a guy who's as good as anyone at throwing kid poker off his game. World Poker Tour champion, Phil Laak. Daniel and Phil have played thousands of hands against each other, and Phil knows every bluff in Daniel's bag. They'll play in a head-to-head match, with Daniel trying his best to bluff both man and machine. Daniel's been dealt weak cards, and Phil gets one question to find out what's in Daniel's hand.
Do you have 2 pair or better right now?
Phil wants to know if Daniel can make 2 pairs, but he can't even make 1. Will he lie and try to bluff Phil?
Yes.
I actually believe him. And I was only calling to continue the experiment. Normally I would have folded this. I don't really have a real hand.
Daniel may have been able to fool Phil, but what about the machine?
Was I telling the truth?
No.
Ah, you got me. Wow. You got me. I had nothing. I might not be able to fool a lie detector test, but I can fool Phil Lock. And that's really all that matters. Yes.
The polygraph got Daniel again because it measures what Phil Lock can't. When Daniel bluffs, the line creates stress. Those stress signals go from the brain to the sympathetic nervous system, triggering his sweat glands. Adrenaline is also released, causing his breathing to become more rapid and shallow. And the heart pumps 5 times the amount of blood it normally does, causing his blood pressure to skyrocket. Daniel's 0 for 2 against the polygraph. But this poker master has won millions by learning how to adjust to his opponents. So we're going to give him one more hand to see if he can pull off the ultimate bluff and beat this lie detector test.
Do you have queen high beat?
Daniel doesn't have queen high beat. But will he try to bluff Phil again?
No.
I call. Don't show the hand. Joe, lying or telling the truth?
Okay, it does show some deception when he answered the question.
So you think I was lying?
Yes.
He thinks I was lying. He thinks I was lying. Was I lying?
Yeah, according to this.
Somebody figured it out. Woohoo! I was telling the truth. Beautiful.
Right.
All right. In my head, I tried to think about the way that I would behave and the way that I would think about something if I was telling the truth versus lying, and I tried to mimic that same exact emotion and breathing pattern, if you will.
Breathing is a very good indication of deception.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Stilted, very different than it normally was.
Daniel was able to beat the polygraph, but bluffing his poker opponents is really all he cares about.
Really, the only skill you need to have is the ability to fool people, unless you plan on playing poker with lie detector tests, which I don't think I'll ever do again.
But whether he's up against man or machine, Daniel still might tip his hand when he's looking at a strong pair.
Hi, I'm Daniel. Who are you?